Hello, hello. And today I am joined by the wonderful Michael Villines, and he is one of my original people that joined the Map to Wellness program. So, Michael, thank you for joining me and thank you for sharing some about the program and how you felt it. So, what inspired you to first join the program? What was it that sort of, yes, I want to do that?
So the thing that inspired me to join the program was that you talked about doing a sort of you ended up calling a self-audit, to where that you would take a look at all these different areas of your life. So all these different areas of your life, and then you would look at them, and then you would just look at all these different areas and see what you needed to work on and what was strong, and then that would bring a lot of potential clarity to your life every single day. So that's what interests me, just because I've been a part of a lot of different programs, and they all sort of do a little bit of a life audit, but I was interested to see what's the differences between your self audit and other people's self audits.
Okay, cool. And can we just clarify, so you're living with multiple sclerosis, is that correct?
Yes.
And you're on a healing journey. You're very
Yes.
much. So are you totally natural? Are you working with doctors? What's your situation?
So early on, I ended up seeing a functional doctor, and she helped me out a lot. And then I am also seeing a neurologist as well, just because he's the person who diagnosed me with multiple
Right.
sclerosis. And I'll see him throughout whenever he schedules appointments. And some of me seeing him is just see like what he thinks as far as progression, but a lot of it is just I sort of want to show some of the medical community that there is like a holistic or a better way to heal yourself. Whether he listens or not, that's something else, because I keep on throwing things in there to help him change, but some of his thoughts. And I know in some of the medical community, they talk about a medical matrix, but I'm not seeing the functional doctor anymore. And I've sort of gone on my own path of
Brilliant.
figuring out what I need to do.
Cool. So this was part of that, doing that self-audit. And what did you find? So you did the self-audit as part of the program. What did it give you any clarity?
So I thought that the self-audit was the best thing that I've run into so far. So probably out of the 20, 30, well, I've probably been a part of probably double-digit programs and stuff up to this point who do some type of a self-audit. Mm-hmm. And the self-audit is the most comprehensive, in-depth look at all the different areas of your life. Mm-hmm. And that how you asked each of us to look at all these different areas and just look and see, and then rate it on number scale. Like the self-audit was the most in-depth out of all of those, because you go to Tony Robbins, Unleash the Power Within, and a lot of other programs, and they're generally asking you about maybe 3, 4, 10 other areas, but yours is the most comprehensive look and in-depth look at all those areas.
Well, thank you. And what was the clarity that came up for you when you did the audit? What did you notice?
So some of what I noticed was just some of it was just around some of my self beliefs or some of the things that I'm doing. I think that you only know you only know what you know, and until somebody points that out, then you don't really know, you can't really get better from whatever you're doing.
So you felt like doing the audit helped you sort of know yourself a little bit better?
Yeah, a lot better.
Excellent, thank you. And then the next part of the program really was getting a bit more clarity on where you do want to be. So for those who don't know how the self-audit works, we use a scaling, we use a clarifying question, and then you scale your answer from a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being fabulous, 0 being not very good at all. And then you can see very clearly where you are right now. So the whole idea of the map is then, right, we know where we are, but where are we going? So the next question is, what would 10 look like? So that area of your life, so if that area was your friendship group, for example, what would your ideal friendship group? Some people might want loads and loads of friends, some people might want just 2 or 3 really good ones. So it's that type of clarity. So did you work on one particular area, or was it a couple of areas that you sort of looked at your, what does 10 look like?
I want to say I worked on a bunch of different areas,
Mm-hmm.
and that and some of it too was that some of it was more because there's some areas that need improvement, or that everybody's like, oh, you need to work on that, but you don't really work on that yourself. So that kind of is like, well, like it's important, but it's not really that important to me. Like the moment you start taking that action, that's when it's important. So like whenever it hits that right pain point, then that's when things start to change.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head, whereas it is important, but is it that important to me? Because certainly from my experience of being on the healing journey, we have to take full responsibility. That means every action that we take, every thought that we think, every word that we say has got some relevance to the way we feel, either emotionally or physically. They're all related. And to get to that amount of depth about yourself and being that self-aware is an ongoing process. And what I was hoping that the program would do would help give people that self-awareness to move forward towards where they actually want to be, rather than where they might feel they're stuck at the moment. So does that resonate with you? Is that what your experience of going through the program, or feel free to tell me what
No,
you think.
that was my experience. And some of the stuff, um if there was some resonate, that it sort of asked me to ask, well, it asked me to ask deeper questions so that I could look at whatever and go, well, that's not the so if that's not the pain point right now, when does it have to get to the point when I will want to change it? I will
Yeah,
want to like
do
get better. So
yeah,
like the Back to Wellness showed the pain point, but if I'm not moving and I know what the pain point is, what's the point in my journey with that pain point? Where does it have to move to where I get to this point? Because I'm pretty sure for a lot of us, until something serious happens in your life, we generally we don't do like a lot of the stuff that I do since being diagnosed with multiple sclerosis really was not that important to me
yeah,
before.
absolutely. Because we're all in this world where we're comfortable, aren't we? We're comfortable. We've got media sent to us 24/7. You know, we live in nice, comfortable homes. Even if we haven't got that much money, we've still got food on the table. We are very comfortable, and this sometimes making change, when making change is never comfortable. We always
No.
have to go through that discomfort. But I don't know about you, but making change is, you know, you do have to push yourself sometimes, and you do, and that's again what I was hoping to get from the program, to create a group of people that were on a similar journey, so we could support each other in that growth, in that change. And is that something that you found from it as well, or?
Yeah, I believe so. That ever since Mapped Wellness, I've grown a lot personally too. So like the Map to Wellness, around that time period, that took on another, like that helped me grow with my journey and myself, and everything in our journeys led us to where we are right now. So all that's gotten me to where I am right now, and looking to make changes and everything there so that I can live to my full potential for the reason that God created me for.
Oh, yeah, I love that, because we're all about living our full potential. And I talk a lot about, you know, illness being a gift and MS being a gift, but you've mentioned that there's things that you're doing now that you never would have done pre-MS. And I'm the same, you know, I go out in the morning and ground myself with my bare feet on the ground, no matter what the weather, pretty much. And I would never do a crazy thing. It feels crazy to a normal person, but anybody on a self-healing adventure is open, really. It's about opening your mind to what is possible, isn't it? And
Yeah, it is.
yeah, thank you. And one of the other exercises in the program, we talk about where you are, where you want to be, but then we did a piece around why it's important. So do you remember doing that why piece? Was that something that was helpful?
It was something that's helpful because so a lot of people, when you talk to them, and I'm guilty of this as well, when we look at, we're always looking at the end. So looking at the end, so I want to be MS free.
Yeah.
So, but why do you want to be MS free? Or I live in a messy apartment, or my marriage needs some work. Well, why is that
Yeah.
important to you? And then if you don't connect that why to the reason why you're doing it, sort of that pain point, or why does that need to change, then like you always think about, oh, like you always think about the ending, and people don't think about the work and everything that needs to happen early on.
Yeah, and I think the why piece for me gives you then the motivation and the determination, I suppose, to keep going when, you know, when things are tough, and they, you know, they can be tough, and especially when you're living with the pain and the disability of a chronic illness, and also the how it limits you in certain ways. So what I was hoping to achieve from the Map to Wellness as well was the idea that actually, although doors may be closing, and it can feel like that definitely when you can't do things that you used to be able to do easily, but there are other doors opening. And it's
Yeah.
seeing that bigger picture. You know, I can't do that anymore, but, you know, with regarding to exercise, for example, I can't go running anymore, but what can I do instead? And
Yeah. Yeah. And I even think that even with, if things are getting better, if things are getting worse, you can still live symptom free. It's not saying that all of your symptoms have gone away, but you can live in a way that just don't think about them, or focus on other
Yeah,
things.
so it's readjusting you're readjusting your focus as well. And we also did some work around, you know, how we speak about things, how we think about things, and this is an ever evolving, certainly from my experience. There's always other things. I mean, with regard into the whole program, my only promise at the beginning of it was that you would feel better as a result. Did I fulfill the promise, do you think?
You did fulfill the promise.
That's good to know. That's good to know. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for
You're
sharing your
welcome.
experiences. Is there anything else you'd like to say to our audience before we say goodbye?
I would say that if you're somebody who you're struggling with the direction, or you're like, man, like I want a in-depth look at my life, and I'm always looking at what can I potentially improve and get better at. If you're one of those people who's always looking at that and always looking for a way, or maybe you're like, man, I need to get more focus, but I'm not sure what area I need to look at, or anything like that, and you want a in-depth look at your life and all the different steps and areas, and that this is the program for you, that you'll take a look at all those different areas, see what you need to look at. The thing about the MAP Wellness is it's more in depth. Like a lot of the other programs that they'll look at maybe 10 or 12 different areas, and they're just popular areas. But if you want a in-depth look at your life that's more in depth than those, then this is the program for you, and it will help you look at different areas that you can work on and focus on, so that you can live to your full potential for the reason that God created you for. And like everything else, all the other work from that point on, it's all up to you, and you can get better, and you can keep on growing, and you can live to your full potential, so that for the reason that God created you for.
Definitely. Lovely. Thank you so much, Michael. I really appreciate your time and sharing how you found the program. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, no problem.